Hey, everybody. Lee and Tammy Sanders back with you all for an all new edition of Wrestling with the Topics. How the hell y'all been? Hope y'all been doing pretty good as we're coming to you for this. What is this? It's Sunday. Sunday. Monster trucks are back and they are better than ever. They are running over your favorite cars. Come see the Death Destroyer. Come see the Grim Reaper. Sunday. Kids eat for free. March 29th,
Uh,
2026.
just a little throwback. I mean, just a little for those guys. For those of you who don't know what the hell just happened, there used to be commercials that used to come on for most monster truck events that would be happening quite a bit around, especially our area, or actually everywhere. I mean, not to say our area, but yeah, and that used to be exactly the commercial that you would get.
Sunday. Grim Reaper is back and he's hungrier than ever as he destroys not one, not two, but 500 cars in 30
Oh
seconds.
shit! Not even Gravedigger could done that.
Nah. Back in the day when we had Evil Knievel and who's the guy that was on the Gary Shanley show? And then he would go on to do Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That was
Super Dave.
Super Dave. Yeah.
Super Dave Osborne doing the most
Mm-hmm.
craziest, stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
That was the good stuff, man. I hope you guys been fantastic. This weather has been. Let me move.
Bipolar.
Yeah. Let me move Galactus here. Bipolar is like a understatement. I heard Mish say recently. Shout out to Mish. I heard him say recently. Everybody and I couldn't help but laugh when the way he said it. You know how he can be with his, how he can be with his candid humor. Well,
Hmm.
he said basically this weather is going to give people AIDS, and I lost it.
Oh God.
I lost it. I knew what he meant, but it was so fucking crude. But I knew what he meant because I'm like, yeah, no, he's like legit. He is right because I mean, I don't know how the weather has been for a lot of you guys, but like over here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia region, we literally have had one day earlier in the week where our temperature had reached 76 degrees. Just this week alone, one day it was 76 degrees, and I think it was actually on Tuesday. And then it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. But what I remember for a
Hmm.
fact is the very next day, our temperature dipped to 43 degrees.
And then the day after that, 33 degrees.
Right. And so I know for me personally, during my week of classes, all this week, I was noticing people that were coughing, sneezing up a
Hmm.
storm.
Yep.
And some
Yep.
of them I said, is your allergies kicking your ass? And they were like, no, it's just a change in the weather. Like
Hmm.
I'm getting sick off
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And then you had others
Hmm.
that yeah, I can, I have allergies, so with the pollen, and then now it's going back to like, and I'm still kind of dealing with allergy residue.
Hmm.
Like, oof, like I really felt for them. I've been going through the motions myself, man. I was dealing with allergies. Now I'm kind of dealing with a little bit of a raspy voice, a little bit of slight congestion. Nothing that Dayquil won't take care of. But yeah, if this shit keeps up, like, yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that's going to be running around
Hmm.
fucking
Because
sick.
it's supposed to go up in our region tomorrow.
Yeah,
And for the next couple days, and then drop down a bit to more normal variety. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Tams is going to be missing this roller coaster because her and her mom, they're going to be traveling in the coming days. No, I sadly will not be tagging along with them because I still have a full semester that's ahead of me. The only thing that really sucks about this is the timing because while Tams is going to be off doing that, I'm going to, I am literally fresh off of my spring break. So it's kind of one of those, damn, I wish that while they went out of town, this could have happened when my spring break could have happened the week that they went out of town. That way, it's like two birds with one stone and everything. So yeah, I will be coming to an empty home except for the girls. The girls will be here, but otherwise, I'll be coming home to an empty home. A house is not a home. Still in love. Don't mind me, but I'll be finding some random shit to do around the house. My goal is my personal goal when they come back. Oh wow, he really kept himself busy. I'll be doing some straightening up here and there and all that other good stuff. So I'm hoping that my time. I mean, look, y'all don't feel too sorry for me, because when it's all said and done, it's not like oh poor Lee. It's like I'll have my classes and study time and all that other good stuff. So it's really not going to be that big of an issue. But I will tell you this, for those of you that are very very interested, y'all want to make sure that the very next time we do topics, you're listening, because I know you all by now have seen a lot of what's been happening in the news involving the many airports in the United States and just how utterly fucking ridiculous it has become. Lines, just lines on top of lines of people. I was watching the news literally yesterday, and just at the BWI alone, people were massive amounts of people were in line as early as 5:30 in the morning, and it was just I thought when we were in Chicago years back for the CM Punk meet and greet, that must have went about 20 blocks. And I'm not exaggerating, people.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that actually
Mm-hmm.
went will actually tell you it went about 20 blocks. I would have thought that was like, but just at the airport. Just imagine at the airport, and all you're trying to do is get to the outside entrance
Yeah.
before you can even get in the proper line to, hey, I got this flight, or whatever, check in basically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
first, you got to deal with outside. And people were in line waiting as of like 5:30 in the morning. And depending on the airport, the hours have increased.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard 2 hours. I've seen 3 hours. When I was watching the news the other day, BWI is now up to like 5+ fucking hours. And that's just for the line outside. And so, Lord only knows what's happening with people that are trying to travel by plane. Are they able to make their connections in time, or they've missed the flight as a result? And there's been rescheduling. Like, what's going on with that? So the next show that we do together, you want to pay attention to that, because Tams will be talking about her experience here on the shows. I said to her, I said, "Yo, this is a great opportunity. Like, you can, bust out your phone and record some stuff here and there, and then we can kind of watch some of your footage and then listen to you share the experience and everything." I've heard of have a lot of patience, but this is really taking it to a whole new level.
I agree. It's so funny that a lot of the people that I've spoken to in the last, I don't know, 3 4 days, it's like, you kind of joke and you're like, yeah, my flight is Tuesday. Maybe I should probably leave now. You know, um, but
Damn.
unfortunately, I can't due to the fact that it's not until Tuesday. Number one, but also I actually have to work on Monday. So, but that's just the funny in the midst of the chaos. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it at all. At all.
Mm.
And yeah, there's definitely going to be some stories. I can promise you that. Because
Hmm.
not only are we flying out of a major airport in DC, we're also flying out of a major airport into and out of a major airport in Orlando. And
Ooh.
guys, the reason that it's even worse right now is because this is also spring break for the the high schoolers, the
Yeah.
middle schoolers.
Yeah.
So it's truly pack your patience. Find out, how much time you need to be there that will safely make your flight. And man,
But man, you gotta even put an asterisk by that. You gotta say if possible.
if possible. Because at this point, so guys, check it. My flight is at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. And I'm hoping that because it's not it's just a smidge later into the week that it will be a little better, but I don't have faith that it's going to be a whole lot better. And the other thing is, and this is not something that I'm um, saying out of angst or anger or anything like that, but my mom is going with me. And she needs a replacement and has had a replacement in her knee. So the amount of standing that is going to be in play is a little bit worrisome to me, actually.
Under the circumstances, and I know pride can be a hell of a thing for some people, especially when they're getting up there in age and they're dealing with knee issues and all that. This might be a case where you're going to have to insist on her sitting in a wheelchair for a bit.
Well, here's the thing is I'll then have a wheelchair and 3 suitcases.
Okay.
So
And haven't even checked them in yet.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, if I feel like it's too much, then I'm pulling somebody aside and basically saying, look, this is what I mean, I'm not trying to pull a card. I mean, at this point, I'll stand in the line. If she could just sit somewhere until I get up there, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another worry. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I've got this on my mind, and then how much that's going to be. The fact that I have to work the day before, and my flight is at 6 a.m. So that means if I follow the rules, then I have to be at the airport at 1
Meaning you.
a.m.
Right. Meaning you likely, both of y'all likely won't be getting any sleep. As far as
Well,
like taking a brief nap. She might be more
right,
well rested than you, but as far as you specifically,
right.
you're not even going to be able to take a nap by that information that you just said, unfortunately. And that's
Exactly.
assuming that you're able to make the connection flight and that you aren't rescheduled.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the flight.
Because from what I'm hearing, remember what I said to you the other day. Some people have been showing up 3, 4, 5 hours early, and because of all the stupidness that's going on,
Right.
they are missing their connection flights, and they've had to
Yeah.
be rescheduled.
Because of their connection or their flights in general.
Their flights in general.
Okay.
They aren't
Yeah.
able to make their flights despite being there 4 or 5 fucking hours early.
Right.
And at that point, when the receptionist, the flight receptionists, are saying to them, "Okay, so you've missed this flight. We understand. Like, we can try to get you another flight." Then at that point, the passengers, they're either like gonna take that new rescheduled flight for that same day, or they just go, "No, I want a refund." And for those of you that are thinking about, maybe I want to try to go for that refund route. Like, how does that look and everything? Am I entitled to a refund off the break because of everything that's going on at the airports? Nah, that's not how it works. The only way you're going to be entitled to a refund is what I just described a few seconds ago. Despite being there early, by the time you get to the line to check in, you've already missed your flight. Then when they try to get you a rescheduling of a new flight, if it doesn't work for you, then you're entitled to a refund. I hope y'all haven't booked a hotel. And if you have, I hope the hotel is pay when you stay.
It is.
Okay, good. So essentially free cancellation.
Well,
Ultimately, If
Yeah,
not,
but
at least a frat you'll be paying at probably maybe the equivalent to the first night stay.
well, it really was only the first night stay. So essentially, we would pay for a hotel that we wouldn't stay in
Yeah.
for that one night. But
Knowing what you know now with what's happening with the airports in our country, would you, if you had the power of persuasion, would you say to your mom, hey, I really don't like what's going on here, or would you still embrace it?
I don't, honestly, for what I know now versus what I knew then,
Mhm.
it was okay, let me go this route because this route is faster.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could have drove. Sure. Down? Yes. But back up in the fact that I literally have to be back to work the day after the vacation is over.
Mhm.
So now, grant you, my flight is fairly early to come back, but still, it's kind of like early, but late for flying. So there's that piece of it too. Because I was the first one to suggest to fly, and that was before the TSA stuff
Oh.
went down.
Mm. Mm.
Because it was kind of like, okay, do we fly? Do we drive? I was like, well, you know. And then the TSA stuff went down, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, oh, wow. So
So
to the
again,
point
yeah.
now, it's like we're in the situation that we kind of have to go through with it because we've already paid for it, but also the timing of it.
So again, knowing what you know now, you beating around the bush. Knowing what you know
I
now,
know, but
they get the full context because we already set it up for them.
okay,
Just go right to it.
all right. I don't know. I probably would either cut my trip short and drive back and drive down, knowing what I know now.
I'm gonna say this for anybody that's thinking about traveling, and I don't see this being brought up enough with all the reports. It's my job as a journalism major to consume as much news as possible from all different sources. The one connection that I'm seeing with everybody, they're so focused on the airports. Nobody has brought up, well, how is it for those that have maybe pivoted to driving? What are they noticing? How is it for people that are traveling via Amtrak? What are they noticing, if anything, in any change at all? I'd love to know what's going on from those standpoints, and if it's actually making things easier. For those of you that's like outside of the United States and you're like, what is going on in your country, Lee? Like, in a nutshell, not to kind of bore you guys to death, but I think this is very important for people to understand why we're in this position that we're in right now, as we are in the midst of another partial government shutdown, which basically started around Valentine's Day because Congress failed to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. It's not the whole government, it's mainly DHS, which includes the TSA, ICE, border agencies. The Democrats' position in a nutshell, they want changes, reforms to ICE and immigration enforcement. So they're pushing for things like more oversight, accountability, limits on enforcement tactics, legal guardrails such as warrants, conduct rules. Republicans' position, they're like, yo, we want full funding for DHS, including for ICE operations. And they're rejecting tying funding to new restrictions on ICE. And then also from their position, some bills try to fund everything with no policy changes. As far as their outlook, they're noticing from the Democratic side that some bills try to fund everything with no policy changes. So the bottom line, Democrats, they want to reform ICE first. Republicans, let's just fund everything now, no conditions. So you get why this has been dragging on left and right. Democrats are rejecting bills without ICE reforms. Republicans are rejecting deals that excluded ICE enforcement. Now, obviously, with what's happening with the TSA workers, they are working without pay, and some are reaching that point where they're just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm quitting. Rightfully so,
Yeah.
because the rent, the mortgage, it's not going to
Everything
take
is
care
due.
of itself, right? Car payments, like none of that is going to be waiting for you to,
Get
okay,
paid.
well, yeah, this will be on pause until,
Yeah.
like you said,
No.
until you get paid. No, you got to do what you got to do. So thousands are calling out by the day. Hundreds have already resigned. Shout out to my younger people out there, and anybody that is doing the gig delivery work, such as Uber Eats,
Hmm.
DoorDash, because now more than ever, you are really seeing it and you are really feeling it. It's hard enough as it is with the war in Iraq, and then what we've
Yeah.
got going on with the gas prices.
Mm.
That's bad enough as it is. But to hear
Hmm.
some of these gig delivery drivers going, yo, and I'm a gig delivery driver myself, and the few times that I was out a while back before all this stupidness had went down, it was already kind of challenging, but I can only imagine now
Hmm.
with the gas prices.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, this stupid shit that's going on at the airports, how it's eating into y'all's pockets and y'all are barely making a profit, if at all.
Hmm.
And then it's a oversaturated market now because you've got all these TSA agents that are okay. Well, I gotta pivot. I gotta do something. I gotta bring in some type of
Hmm.
money because yeah, man, I need this like yesterday.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, ICE agents are still getting paid. It's a separate funding stream that's going on. You can look that up by checking out Business Insider. They got a really good breakdown on that. So
That's
the
kind of crazy.
Yeah, so the administration, they did this. They sent ICE agents to airports to help TSA. That's how we got to where we are now. And all they're mostly doing is they're in a support role, which is basically crowd control, the lines, all of that. What the president has done so far, he's trying to order actions to get TSA workers paid using emergency DHS funds. You can read more about that via your favorite news outlet, Associated Press, New York
Hmm.
Post. You can learn more about it there. You also have the president pushing for ICE deployment to airports. He's also putting public pressure on the Democrats, blaming them for the shutdown. But now he's gotten to the point where he's just like, I need this shit done. And if I need to exploit whatever legal loopholes, whatever is affordable to me within my powers, like I'm going to do it. You got critics that obviously are saying ICE agents aren't trained for TSA security work. I totally I hear where people are coming from that perspective, but you also got the supporters that's saying it's better than airports collapsing completely because from what I've been paying attention to the past couple of days, we're at the point now where some spokespeople for certain airports they've gone on record and say, look, if we don't get this shit resolved soon, we may have to close some of
Hmm.
our airports
Hmm.
because we cannot
They don't have
handle.
the manpower.
Right, we just can't handle it and everything. So when it's all said and done,
Hmm.
y'all, this shutdown, it isn't about money, but if you're a TSA worker, money
There's some
means
money.
everything.
Hmm.
But it's about immigration policy. Democrats want limits on ICE. Republicans want ICE fully funded. And until one side bends, everything tied to Homeland Security is going to remain in limbo.
That's so. Peep this. You're a TSA worker and you ain't getting shit. but your counterpart ICE over here is fully funded.
Hmm.
Can you imagine what kind of head shit that is? I mean, seriously. So, for me, I ain't saying nothing about nobody else, but for me, it would be nice to take some part of that reform out. I get sort of both sides, but I'm leaning more toward the Democrats. Not that I'm saying don't pay these people. What I'm saying is I get the values that they're placing within the bills that they're trying to pass. But you're also playing with people's lives by trying to do that. So, yes, do I agree that they should try to fund this and expedite time? Yes. But the values and the bills that they're trying to pass, or the bills that they're trying to pass, I get it. I get what they're trying to do, especially with everything that's happened in the past year. But is this really the time to do it? That's where I'm going with it. Like, okay, can't you section a bill to basically say, okay, well, this is what we need right now?
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So,
To your point, that's literally what the Democrats are trying to do, and the Republicans are like, no.
wouldn't you say in one area they've tried that before and
Multiple times since this president has come back to office. What is this now? Is this like the third shutdown
oh
for this
shit,
term?
I've lost count.
I've lost count now. I know two for sure.
Yeah.
I know
I've
two
lost
for
count.
sure, but I've lost count. Like, I hear exactly what you're saying, and it is really nerve wracking when I really try to wrap my head around this. I mean, on the one hand, on the one hand, me being that level-headed person that I am, maybe a really good common ground should be okay. Just something as simple as, yo, these guys shouldn't be wearing their mask when they're doing what they're doing. Now, I hear what the president is saying in regards to that. Like, the president, he's going on record when it comes to ICE agents being at the airports. He basically is like, look, the mask, they don't need to be on at the airports because we don't, you know, want people looking at a bunch of faceless people,
Yeah.
especially during a travel crisis.
I agree
We
with
want
that.
them to feel safe and everything. Like, if anything, the mask should definitely be on when these guys are out there and they're taking down some bad guys. They're out there and like, okay, I get you, Mr. President. I kind of get what you're talking about. Okay, cool. But like, maybe a nice little common ground should be, you know what? Regardless if these men and women are out there of ICE and they're conducting whatever they're conducting, if a person that is being detained by ICE, if they go, I want your name, give me your full name, give me your badge number or whatever, that ICE agent, like, it should be written in the law that, hey, if that person that's being apprehended is saying they want your name and you're faceless, then yeah, you must comply. You
You should, or
definitely,
at the minimum, your badge number.
right. I think you must comply. I agree with the whole, yo, we need body cams, and these body cams need to be on. They cannot be
That's
turned
right.
off at any time.
That's right.
Have it like after
That's
what
right.
happened with Alex Pretty and Renee Good, after what happened with them. Yeah, body cams need to be on at all times. They cannot be fucked with. If that shit is fucked with, for any respected reason.
You need to be you need to be cited
Oh, it's not just
or
cited.
fired.
No, fired is too extreme, but you need to be cited, and you need to be sitting home, sitting at home at administrative leave, paid administrative leave, while it's investigated why your body cam was off.
Right.
Now, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's what they're doing. In DC. Maybe that's what.
Maybe, but we're not hearing
Well,
anything
we
about
ain't
it.
hearing nothing about it exactly. But if you're, I think if you were to kind of take that level-headed, middle of the road approach, how can you like disagree with that? I think at bare minimal, that's some really good stuff right there. But there's so many. The one thing that I had learned when I was taking my government class last semester, there's so many damn complexities to this that it's just trying to wrap your head around it. It's just, but all you could do is just pray for the best. That's all you really.
That's all you can do.
That's all you could do is just pray for the best and everything. So have a lot of patience while you're out there. The act of kindness too is something else that I want to say pass along during your travels.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of travels and the act of kindness, I had a very interesting week. So I noticed, I think it was earlier this week, while I was commuting to and from campus, I noticed one of my tires looked a little funny. My back tire on the my back passenger tire on the right side of the car. And so I'm going, what is going on here? Like, why does this look so damn deflated? Like, the others look good. I bust out my little Halo joint. I love my Halo device, man. That thing, you can jump start that bad boy with the Halo. You can put air into it. You could charge your respected devices. Computer, phone, you name it. I mean, jack of all trades. So I checked the PSI for all my wheels. Three of the four wheels were good, but the one that I was looking at going, why is that so low? That bitch was down to 8. I'm like, yo. So I filled it back up, told Tams what was going on. She's like, yeah, you may want to see what's going on with that tomorrow when you get an opportunity and see how low the PSI gets, if at all. But like, it shouldn't even be that low if your other tires were virtually fine. I said, yeah. So next day, I check out the wheel, dropped from 32 psi down to 27. Y'all know what time it is, right? Say it with me. Slow leak. So I'm like, okay, this ain't good. So I filled it up again after I did my full day of classes, because I was like, let me see where the PSI is going to be now that I put the tire to 32 psi. Let me see where it is, when it's all said and done. So, what was that? 8 hours, 9 hours later, PSI was down to, I want to say 28. I'm like, yeah, your man got a leak, like for sure, got a leak.
Yep.
So, leading up to getting the wheel replaced, Tams had some Mary Kay products that she needed picked up, and I said to her the night before, "Well, man, you've been working since like butt fucking early. I'll pick it up for you the next day. Just come on home. It's getting too late." And she's like, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'll pick it up for you tomorrow. Like, no problem." I'm keeping in mind the issues that I'm having with my wheel, and I'm just going, long as I'm monitoring the PSI on that one, not letting it get too low, like I'm good. No problem. So, meanwhile, and I had to learn this the hard way after I was done with classes, I get the dreaded Genie Lamp that comes on. Anybody that drives, you know that Genie Lamp. That basically is letting you know, hey man, you're running low on oil. Now, I don't think anything of it. Okay. But then it dawns on me when I see this Genie Lamp pop up. And I'm gonna tell you exactly, because I know some of you guys are like, Lee, why you letting the Genie Lamp get, why you letting the motor oil get that low, man? Like, what the fuck? So here's how my car normally operates. And this ain't long-winded, but like normally when I see the Genie Lamp come on, it's like, oh, it's time for me to, okay, gotcha. And usually when I park where I need to park for the day, I come back the next day, I turn the ignition on, the Genie Lamp, it's gone. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it was just kind of letting me know it's about that time. I can keep on driving. I'm good. Right? And then normally, like, I can drive, like, if I see it, like, the day before, but I'm, like, literally about to park for the night, like, I'm home, I'm chilling. It's like, okay, I'll worry about it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes the next day. And then in this case, me picking up the products for Tams, we're now on day 3. Now, even by my standards, that's bad because
No.
by my standards, that's extremely bad because normally I always get to it the next day. But for me, 3 days later, this shit is bad. So why am I telling you this story? Because it gets fucking worse. So, so I literally pull up to what I think is the house, and I call Tams. I'm like, "Yo, this the right address, right?" And she's like, I don't really know. It should have blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let me send you a picture. No, that's not the house. I'm like, well, damn, you gave me the right address, right? And she's like, hang on. And I'm like, well, I know I copied the address that she gave me and pasted it in Google Maps. So, like, what the hell? For some weird reason, the house I was at, which was the wrong house, it was 20815. That's what I copied and pasted. Yet when I go back myself to look at the address that Tams gave me, it's 20812. So how Google Maps, I'd love to know from y'all if y'all had that similar experience. But like I'm going, okay, what the fuck? I said, babe, I got the right address. Like I'm like 3 houses down or some shit like that. Let me just go ahead and figure this out. Like I know where I'm going now. Like I got this. And so I'm trying to reverse the car. I never turned the ignition off, right? And on my way to this house, the car was kind of feeling a little sluggish. It was kind of feeling just a little slow, like slower. Like I'm in this really nice suburban neighborhood, all these nice, pretty homes, one way street, and all that. So you got to drive about probably, I would say, 10 miles an hour in this, an hour, 10 miles per hour in this neighborhood, right? So I'm reversing the car out of this garage of the wrong house I'm in. And the car's like, I don't really want to reverse. Like it's feeling like great resistance. I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? 2003 Honda Accord, just so you guys have the picture in your head that know your cars. So I put a little bit more pedal to the metal on the accelerator, and I know normally when I put, I mean, my back pipe it goes, you know, like it's fucking mad, right? It doesn't even do that this time. It doesn't even do a ploop. Like it's quiet, and I'm like, yo, what's going on with my car? What's going on with my baby? Like it's just feeling real sluggish and everything, and I finally am able to back all the way out, and then I try to go to my left. I turn to my left so that I can go to the right house. Next thing I know, the car just says, fuck it, homie. I'm chilling right here. So now the back of the car is like kinda in the driveway of the next house over. Kind of, not really. Just, but I am taking up almost all of the traffic flow space. If anybody is trying to, you ain't able to just go straight down. Now you got to figure out a way to go around the front of my car because you can't go through the back, right? And so I'm like, oh, this is the worst. Like, I'm almost dead in the middle in this neighborhood. So I'm like, fuck. So I turn the ignition off, I turn it back on, and the ignition is just like, okay. I'm like, fuck me. I grab my Halo kit, and here comes this white guy. Boy, yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt, Chloe. Yeah. Here comes this white guy. Old white guy, probably looked like he was in his shit. I'd say late 60s, early 70s. He's got this long sleeve long sleeve shirt on, collared, tucked into his pants. Got this belt on and everything. I mean, he comes out. I mean, he looks like a older, balding Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. I mean, I was so ready for this motherfucker to go, "What can I do you for, neighbor?" You know, and he comes out and he says some stupid shit like, "Oh, you got a situation on your hands there," like some shit. It's going in one ear and out the other for me, and I look at him, and I go, "Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. Car won't start." And this motherfucker goes, "Oh, well, I'm sure a young man like you would be able to figure it out." And then he turns right back around and goes into his house. And I'm just looking at him and I'm just having a Joe Pesci Goodfellas moment. Motherfucker! Because it's like, why? Like, I wasn't looking for his help, but it's like, dude, why even come out here? Like, I would have preferred it if he just would have been like, "Oh man, that sucks. Well, look, I don't know anything about cars. Lord knows if I did, I'd offer you a hand. I hope you're able to figure it out and everything. And, if you maybe need me to call you a mechanic or something, let me know. I mean, maybe we can get you a tow truck if needed, some shit, rather than that bullshit ass line." So, anyway, and here I am. I'm negotiating with the car. I'm like, "Baby, just, please, like, if you need oil, I'll get you your oil. I just need you to work with me." Now the car's been off for like about maybe almost 10 minutes. I see the house where I'm supposed to pick up Tam's product. So I go get the product. I think she calls back or whatever, and I tell her, "Hey, yeah, I got your product." I call my mother-in-law. I tell her what's going on, and it feels like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And my mother-in-law is Larry David. She's like, I don't understand why didn't you put oil in the car?" I'm like I did. She's like, "Well, obviously you didn't because you know," and so you always want to make sure you got oil in it. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't need to be hearing this right now. I just need to know where you at, and if you might be able to help a brother out, you know. And then she's like, "I'm in Southern Maryland, so I'm not gonna be back for several hours unless you want to wait." I said, "No," and she's like, "Well, you shouldn't be that far from the Walmart. Just go to, just walk to the Walmart. You're not that far. Just walk to the Walmart." And I'm thinking to myself, "Woman, I don't know where the fuck I am. Yeah, I got my phone, but it's like walking to the Walmart. That's not the problem. The problem is, how do I?" And then it's like, "Oh, well, I have the address, so I guess I could walk, But I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah. Get oil for the car, right? Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you." And I'm like thinking to myself, no shit, I got to get oil for the fucking car. I'm like, I'm not mad at mom. I'm just like, tell me something I don't know. And so I'm negotiating with the car. I go, "Look, if you start, I'll get you your oil.
Oh my God.
Like, just start." And so put the key in the ignition. Oh, she starts. I'm like, yes. Fuck yes. So, but there's a catch. There's a catch to the ignition. There's a catch now. It might have started, But now as I'm moving, the car's like, I'm gonna get you where you need to go, but we only gonna be going about 15 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I put my emergency lights on. Asshole car thought that was coming from behind me. This asshole car thought it was doing something by being speed racer, whipping past me, and then almost causing an accident as it was pulling up on a red light. And there was like four other cars parked in front of it
Yeah, that
at the
sounds
light.
right.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you go ahead. Like
Yeah.
you go ahead. I'm gonna be that turtle versus Bugs Bunny. I'm gonna win at the end. Like, get to the Walmart.
Which literally, guys, just for context, is about
It was three
normally
minutes.
about 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. In this case, it said I would be there in 3 minutes. 3 minutes was the case.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there to the Walmart. I'm like, yes. And at this point, I literally feel like the wolf in Looney Tunes. Hey, something's cooking. Oh shit, it's me. I smell this burnt kind of, and I'm like, is this car about to explode? And I'm like, just in time. I'm like, I just turned the ignition off. I'm like, let me just leave you the fuck alone. I go inside the Walmart. I grab the fucking oils. While I'm at the Walmart, I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry, damn it. Like, I'm gonna get me a snack while I'm putting oil in this thing, and then I'll just sit in the car and chill for a bit. So, Walmart, they had like this little cup of popcorn chicken, boneless popcorn chicken. I'm like, oh, $3. That's a nice little snack. I grabbed that, grab a little bag of Cheetos. I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, dude, how you gonna pay for this? It's like, oh, well, I got cash on me. Yeah, but do you have enough on your card? I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll just give the lady the loose cash that I have on me. I'll tell her I'll pay the rest with my phone. There's a problem with this. Walmart still ain't caught up to the 21st century. So Walmart took my cash, but they like, oh yeah, we don't take Apple Pay
Or Google Pay.
or Google Pay. Like, we don't take tap. Like, you don't take tap? No, no, you cash or card. I'm like, oh. And so I'm like, okay, well, put the chips in the little chicken nugget thingy's bag. You don't want? I said, no, no, I don't want. I'm okay. So she takes it off. So now I just gotta worry about paying 66 cents.
Well, $10.66.
Right, but she already took my cash.
Right.
So now I'm left with 66 cents.
Got it.
I got the 66 cents,
Just not on you.
just not on me.
Right.
I can pay for it by tap, but they don't take tap. Bless this cashier's heart. She's like digging in her fucking purse, and she's trying to see if she can dig up 66 cents. She doesn't have it. And I tell her, I say, look, so I used to be a cashier. I know how it can be if you end up being short. Like, I'll just take one bottle. Like, really, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, 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 no. It's like, hang on, hang on. And then this Hispanic, the cashier that was helping me, by the way, it was an Ethiopian woman, broken English, but very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. Then this Hispanic woman pops up. She's got like a 9-year-old kid. And the cashier says to her, do you have 66 cents? And the lady's like, no, no, I don't. And I say to the lady, yeah, I'm trying to get this motor oil for my car. I already had to put some stuff back. And the cashier's like, how about $1? Do you have $1? And the lady's like, yeah, I got $1. And so she gives $1. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said that to her like repeatedly, like, thank you. And I told her, I said, I will make sure I pay it forward. Don't worry. Like, I'm that type of person. And she's like, you're welcome. And she's like, glad I could help. I'm like, thanks. So I get my 2 oils. Nothing to nibble on, but, it's all good. I get the oils. I'm on cloud 9. Put them in that fucking car. I'm chilling for like about 20 minutes. I'm like, now let's see what happens. Turn the ignition on. It's like nothing ever happened. And I just couldn't help. But in that moment, I said, and what did we learn here, Lee? And it said, well, we learned not to keep pussyfooting around when it comes to the oil because shit can and will happen, apparently. Um, and then the other thing was, and give the car the recommended oil that it's supposed to have. Now, this is where bad teaching comes in. I hope you guys got a nice car chuckle out of that because I'm still a newbie driver, despite the fact I've been driving for like almost 3 years. But Tams taught me something kind of bad here. Not what I just told you, but this right here. So for the past like handful of years that I've had this car now, she has always done a bottle of oil or at max 2 quarts of motor oil. I learned by doing research. No. For that specific car, it's supposed to take 4 to 5 quarts of motor oil, which is its max. And I was saying that to her. I said it in a text message, but I know she was so busy at work. But I said to her, yeah, besides making sure I always have oil on me, I need to make sure that, the car is getting the right amount of oil. So all this time that I've been just, too.
So let me do some defense a little bit, right? So most cars, when you get 1 to 2 quarts of oil, you're straight because it's not leaking at the rate that this 2003 is leaking. Now, by the time you see the Genie Lamp, that's where Lee is, right. It's one of those, yeah, you probably should be putting in 3 to 5, making sure that you have, the oil stick, you're, above that second hole. But generally when I buy oil, I might buy 2 to 3 quarts. But that's not, it wasn't like teaching you in that way. It was just, oh, okay, well, here, this is what I got for you. Not this is what you're going to put in it and that's it. So clarity.
I just know that was bad.
It ain't my fault.
Yes, it is because
it ain't my
yes,
fault.
it is your. Nah, you ain't doing that shit. Where's her music, y'all? I mean, you should see the shit and grin on her face right now. All she's missing is the, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. You can't stop us. We don't die. It ain't my fault. That needs to be your fucking song. The fuck it is your fault.
No, it's not. Neither.
Yes, it is.
No.
How am I supposed to know?
To check the dipstick on that car.
No. I am not disputing the dipstick. What I'm disputing is
because I only got you 2 to 3 quarts.
Okay.
It's my fault.
No. How is it that all these years that I've been driving the car, and I inherited this car from you, you never say, hey, make sure that as far as the right amount of motor oil you're supposed to have in the car, you're supposed to have this amount. If you're in a pinch, you can go with this, but this is what you really want.
Okay.
Cause Lord
That's
only,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, yeah, it's an older car and it's got some leaks, but I'm also thinking about what the mechanic said, which was, hey, you got some leaks, but just monitor your levels. You're good.
Yeah.
And then I did further research and I find out, yeah, despite the leaks, you still want to be topping off the motor oil, despite the leaks. I'm like, oh shit. And so it's like, wow, this whole fucking time I've been doing it wrong. And it's like I only know what I'm taught.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those type of deals.
Okay.
So now the question becomes, now I got to spin it to you. Do you know exactly how many quarts of motor oil your car is supposed to have?
Most cars is 3 to 5.
Most cars is 3 to
Or
5
from empty.
from empty.
Hmm.
How come you never told me this?
I don't know. I never really thought about it. If you want me to be honest,
That's interesting.
it was always top it off. Make sure you're checking your oil levels. And so if the oil levels is like, okay, this is where we're at, then this is how much you need to add. And then that's the way we've always talked about it. It's not been, oh, well, here's how many you need to have at all times.
Yeah.
It was always top it off and make sure it doesn't go below this.
Just interesting. Just very interesting. So I learned a lot. So I learned a lot. It was kind of like, car's okay. We actually ended up getting the wheel replaced. Why don't you talk to them a little bit about that? Because there was something that kind of caught my ear that kind of piqued my interest. Something about brake fluid or whatever. Come to that later, but like
Flush.
that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
So we go to, there's a particular tire place that I like, that I've went to a couple times before on different, for different cars, different issues, all relating to, tire and brakes and things of that nature. So I was like, you know what? I'm literally getting ready to go out of town and I'm not even going to be in the state. So the fact that you have a leak, I don't feel comfortable with you driving as far as you drive on a daily basis on a tire that's got a leak. So I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and see if it can be patched. So for you guys who don't know, there's two things you can do. There's a thing that you can do if you have a slow leak, and then once they check it. If it's the valve stem can be replaced. If it's a slow leak, hopefully the best case scenario is that you have enough tread on the tire and it can be patched. So we pretty much, go through that and we get them. I called them earlier, just cuteness. I called them earlier. I'm like, yeah, do you guys have any appointments? No. That location doesn't have any appointments today. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, if I went over there and asked, do you think they would see me? And they said, well, I'm not sure, but you can try it. So I called Lee and I said, okay, well, they said they don't have any appointments, but possible they could take walk-ins. Okay. And he's like, well, why would you want to do that? They said they didn't have any appointments. And I was like, because I've done it before and that has always been the case. And he's like, oh, okay, bet. So we go to the place. Yes, they have appointments. Yes, we get the car there. And they, look at the car and they're like, okay, well, give us about an hour. So, we've said, okay, fine. So we go and, do a couple things. We end up having an impromptu date lunch, which we don't do real often because of our schedules, number one, and just different things. But it was nice to do that, and we'll say more about that later. But so, and I tell him, so that particular car has a wheel lock for the tires. So about 45 minutes, I get a call. And he's like,
we're sitting down eating, mind you.
We're literally sitting down eating at this point.
Literally stuffing our faces, literally, when she got the call.
But before that, I literally asked Lee, I said, you have the wheel lock, right? Yeah. I'm not gonna give it to him unless they ask me. All right, whatever.
And for context, kind of running it back to what you said a few minutes ago. For context, ain't my fault. But no, seriously, it ain't my fault. But look, no. So let me tell you something. Last year, real quick sidebar. Last year, I had a blown out tire. I told you guys about it. Y'all remember, long time listeners, that is. but I had a blown out tire while I was on 495 hitting the campus. And luckily, by grace of a higher power, I was able to drive the car off the freeway, nearest exit, and like within 5 minutes, I was at this gas station. And basically, I was able to call a mechanic that came over and was able to replace my blown out tire with my emergency tire. And he said to me, and I've basically kept this in the back of my head ever since. He said, "Hey, this what do you call it again?
Wheel lock.
This wheel lock of yours, keep track of it. Always know where it is at all times, especially if you ever need to have your car be repaired by somebody. This is extremely valuable." And most of the mechanics, what they'll do, they will quietly pocket that wheel lock, and you'll never know that it's not there. And so he was like, keep this on you at all times. Every time you're getting ready to drop your car off, he's like, if it's going to be leaving your site from whoever's working on it, take it with you. Have them ask you for it. You know, he's like, 'cause these are very valuable. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, you know, depending on the model, he's like, you can get you easily a couple $100s. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that's why I did what I did. But it was funny. It was funny in this moment that Tam's is talking about, because she literally says to me while we're at the place, you want to give them the wheel lock? And then I told her, "Nah, I want them to ask me for it."
And they never asked, and we went on ahead and went out and did our thing, and then of course we went and had that impromptu lunch. So we're literally eating again, back to that part of the story, and I get a call. Where's the wheel lock? With me, and it's like, ugh. So I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely, as soon as I finish up what I'm doing here, I'll definitely be back. So then we have to drive back to the place to give him the wheel lock. By then he had already told me that yes, the tire, could be repaired. And the funny thing is, before they took it in the back to the bay, I was just checking on, Lee's tires, and I was like, okay, well, that one's all right. That one's all right. That one's okay. Whoa, this one ain't okay. And it's like literally there was no tread on the tire. And mind you guys, okay, I'm getting ready to go out of town. And it's like, oh no. So I was like, okay, go ahead and replace the tire, because, I certainly don't want anything to happen while I'm out of state and so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, just go ahead and replace that tire and then patch the other one since it can be patched. And so they did that, lickety split, no issue. They even gave us the nail that he ran over as a souvenir.
Big ass nail. I'll show it on the Monday show. It's a big ass nail.
Yeah, it actually is a big ass nail. So, and I'm just like, okay. So that was that journey, in reference to, fixing the car. And so, and the funny thing is, while all this was happening with the oil, I was at work. And unless it's a dire emergency, I don't leave work early unless I've already pre-planned it, because we already have, staffing set and so on and so forth. And as being a manager, that's just frowned upon, unless it's like an emergency. So anyway, but yeah, so that was that interesting little time together. And there was an interesting little turn that is by one of our metro stops, or train stops, and trying to navigate this particular turn was making Lee a little squeamish.
Hell yeah. I would say to her, each time we was coming down there, I would say to her, I'm shutting up because I want you to focus. And she's like, I am focused. Well, I want you to be extra focused. Because there's no protected turn. And it's like, Oof, oof. It's an accident. You know, if you ain't, you got to be on point. You got to be paying attention, especially since some of those cars between the lights, because it almost seems like it's about half a mile between the lights from one light to the
Mm,
next. And
mm,
some of those cars, they just go, when they get the light, they just all of a sudden they're hitting like 50.
mm-hmm. Well,
They're going 50
mm,
50 plus on what's probably about
30,
35 40
35, 40.
35
Mm-hmm.
40. You know, it's fucking ridiculous, man.
Well, the thing that really, for this particular turn, the thing that makes it worse,
Is a U-turn just to get into the car
well,
shop.
that's the first thing. But
Yeah.
the second thing is there's also a turn lane on the opposite side. So you've got cars blocking the view of the cars that are coming,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to make a U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really see that well on what's really coming. So that's what makes it dangerous. Um,
I just thought of something. You know what makes a lot of sense going forward if we have to go through that part ever again? You know what makes a lot of sense?
mm,
So, what makes a lot of sense is just be on the furthest right side. And then when we come up to that light, we have that protected right turn.
hmm
And then we can easily just do a safe U turn so that we can get into, have a guaranteed protected turn and don't
hmm
have to worry about. You're essentially talking about driving an additional 30 seconds just so
hmm
you can have a guaranteed protected turn. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot better. Unfortunately, some motherfuckers don't know how to drive. We saw that for ourselves watching the news a couple of nights ago. We saw that for ourselves. So,
hmm
rather to be safe than sorry, I always say.
hmm
But yeah, the car's good. That's my baby. She's now got almost 280,000 miles on her. She's getting old. But that's all right. She still gets the job done. I'm looking forward to the off season once I'm done with the classes, because one of the things I want to be doing besides working an internship is I want to be fixing my car radio. My car radio, it's like it's not even working now, hun. Like when you try to turn the volume up,
mm
when you try to change the station, when you try to just fuck it, let me play a CD, nothing's working now.
mm
It's just totally like it's still on, but it's inactive.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah. So
Basically, it's there, but it's really not.
it's really
It
not.
does no, it serves no purpose nor it does any
No,
function.
no.
Yeah.
So I definitely wanna get that replaced during the off season. It's so funny. There's a fellow classmate of mine. I've yet to see them, but they have the same exact same car as mine. Only they got these sweet ass rims, and I'm like, I took a picture of their rims because I'm like, yo, I wouldn't mind looking into that, like, because the rims look really, really nice. And then I also looked inside because I was just nosy like that. I wanted to see what was going on with their car system, and they did a modification.
hmm
They did a modification for sure.
I think there's quite a few that have actually done that same modification as far as that year of car.
Yeah,
Um,
seems to be successful apparently.
yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean, as long as the person that's doing it knows what they're doing and is hooking it up right,
yeah.
seems to be fairly successful. But I actually had um, talked with one of the guys who had done some work on my car about transitioning into a newer system. And he said, well, he said, yeah, I can do the installation. He said, but there are times when, even though you hook up everything right, there might be a little funkiness with the heat controls, or there might be a little bit of funkiness with, I think he said, the way the system and softwares are working and communicating or something like that.
You're remembering right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, it's a possibility, but obviously you have to be careful.
And what was this about brake fluid?
So of course, guys and girls, whenever you go to anybody and anywhere to get your car fixed, they got to find 3 other things that's wrong with it to see if they can upsell you. Not to say that there's not something, not to say that that's not something that's needed. It's just not something I wanted to do right that second. So he said, well, actually, you have da 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 with the tire. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, it's that low. I mean, I knew it was low, but I was like, yeah, no, that can't wait. And then he said, needing an alignment, which is something that we'll probably be doing in another month. And then the other thing is he said, you need a brake flush. Well, the oil leak that's happening with the car is, which, because we've had this before, we've actually had to do it before, which is brake flush. I assume that's in reference to the oil that might be splashing back on them. But I didn't really go into it as far as that with him.
Okay, but that was it in a nutshell.
But I think that's what that was.
Okay.
Because we've had to do it before.
Okay.
But
Because the
like I
car
said,
got real. To your point, the car had got real loud before we did the first brake flush.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff was sliding.
Yeah. That's Car Shop with Tams and Lee. Come back next week when we talk about a 1956 Camaro.
Sure. Yeah, we got one of those in our back pocket, guys. Yeah, Yep. Long is sitting right beside a 1957 Bel Air Chevy. Absolutely.
Which is actually parked right next to the DeLorean from Back to the Future. By the way, shout out to one of my favorite actors, James Tolkan, who was the principal in Back to the Future. We also remember him as the hot-headed boss of Tom Cruise's Maverick and Top Gun. Maverick, what the hell you think you're doing? You know, we remember him. Well, he was one of the bosses. He was one of the bosses. Passed away this week. Nice, long, rich, full life, man. I mean, passed away at the age of 94. That is a damn good run.
That is a really good run.
Oh, He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Not the one that's getting ready to come out.
Nah.
The original one with Dolph Lundgren, which was badass. That was a badass movie. That was one I always felt there should have been a sequel to. And right down to the point, the way it ends. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but the way it ends, you're like, oh, there's going to be a part 2. We never got the part 2. So I think that might have been a Canon Films production too. I got to go back and check on that. It was a little sad seeing that news. You know, while we're also talking about passings, let's not also forget, now that we have even more information about the circumstances of his death, I just want to once again offer my thoughts, prayers, and condolences. I know Tams wants to extend as well to the family, friends, colleagues, fans even of Loverboy, Dennis Condrey of the Midnight Express. I talked about it in real time on the Monday night show. But and dealing with the information that I had available at that time. And if you all recall, as I said on Monday, I said, look, if there's anybody I want to be hearing from on this topic, it's Jim Cornette, because he has had a very close friendship with all the members of the Midnight Express for many, many, many years, right down to the point. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before, Jim had worked with the respective families of the Midnight Express, and there was like this really cool little compilation box set of the Midnight Express that he had put together that is exclusively available on his website. I would imagine now it's completely sold out with Condrey's passing. But I remember at the time, it was very beautiful, very well organized, the way that he had this thing set up, and you got like autograph photos, like whole 9 yards. It was really, really cool. But I remember being on the Monday show saying, if anybody's going to have more information on the circumstances surrounding Condrey's passing, it's going to be Jim Cornette. And sure enough, he revealed, the circumstances. In case you all might have missed it, and big credit towards Jim Cornette for giving this very specific details of what happened. So basically, Dennis Condrey had spoke with his wife because she was still working, and if I remember this right, she was about less than I won't say less than a week away. I think it was like 9 days away.
I thought it was a month.
No, no. Well, I think
When
the
they first
ball
talked about it,
it was right,
she was
and I think leading up to his death,
yeah,
she was like
like
9 days away
yeah,
from
1 to 2 weeks.
retiring,
Yeah,
right? But she was let's just be in agreement. She was days away from
yes,
retiring
yeah,
because Dennis Condrey wanted her to retire and everything.
mm-hmm.
And so he was supposed to pick her up
Mm-hmm.
from work by a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
That time came and went and everything. And she just thought that was, pretty weird. Something was
Mm-hmm.
kind
Must
of,
be up.
something must be up. So she
Mm-hmm.
had asked the neighbor
Mm-hmm.
to go check on him. They had a spare key. It's nice to know that there are still families that do that, that have an emergency key
Mm-hmm.
somewhere outside their home
Mm-hmm.
just in case something weird goes down and all that.
Right.
Definitely pretty handy right here. The neighbor had found Condrey on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he suffered a really bad fall, breaking his neck,
Mm-hmm.
severely injuring his spinal cord, and he basically was paralyzed from the chest down. Now, do I remember Jim right when, and I hope I'm not speculating here, but do I remember hearing him right that when the neighbor came across Condrey,
Mm-hmm.
he was barely alive? And I guess he ultimately succumbed to his.
I thought he said he was already passed.
I'm a little confused about that because I was
Mm.
under the impression he was still. Because I remember Jim definitely saying, hey, he's on the ventilator,
Oh, that's
but
right.
yeah,
Yeah, but it wasn't too. It wasn't too long after they got him to the hospital that he passed.
yeah, I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Yes. So that that is the just to hear that detail. And I got to be honest with you guys. When I was doing the Monday night show, my whole thing was, I hope it's not a fall. That's what I kept saying to myself. I hope it's not a fall. I hope it's not a fall. I hope it's not a fall. I hope it was just maybe he got done eating lunch and he's sitting in his recliner and wham, it was instant. No pain. It was just instant. I was hoping maybe that was going to be the case. But my heart just broke to find out, oh, it was a fucking fall. And I've said this on the show over the years, falling in your home is no joke. And I know some people, they get a snicker and they're like, all these old people always. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Since I have been living in this house, I have fallen down the steps in my home 3 times. 3 times. I fell twice in my 30s, and I fell once in my 40s so far. And each time I fell, it was getting worse and worse. The falls that I would have. That the very last fall that I had, I was telling Tams about this when we were just talking about, damn, that sucks what happened with Dennis Condrey and everything. I was telling her about how when I fell down the stairs with our old Pekingese, Maggie, and how I was doing my best, her health was already failing. We were on borrowed time. We only had just a couple of more months with her at that point when I had my fall, and she was already having seizures. These little tremors,
Yeah,
actually, tremors, not seizures. It was full blown.
full blown seizures. She would have tremors generally most of the
It was
time,
seizures. Yeah,
but then there would just be full blown seizures.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I remember falling down the stairs with her in my and with her in my hands, and I fell. I don't know what the fuck, but I just fell. And with what I could control, I made sure that as I was falling, I not only had her in my hand, but that I tried to hold on to her as long as I could. And unfortunately, the way I had fell, the very last thing to give out was my right hand that was holding her. And I watched her go down about maybe about four steps, carpeted, but still, for an
Mm-hmm.
elderly dog to experience that,
Mm-hmm.
that's just, but the falls are no joke, man. And all I could think about was, man, Scott Hall, he slipped and fell in his home.
Mm-hmm.
That's ultimately what took him out. He re-injured his hip and all that. I think about Dusty Rhodes. He basically slipped and fall,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Now we had Dennis Condrey. I'm sure there's probably other names that people can think about, wrestling figures at that oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wasn't there a slip and fall with this person too, and they kind of succumbed to those
Mm-hmm.
injuries. It's no joke. And like I was saying to Tams, I said, you just hope that um depending on when the fall happened, that it wasn't a case where he was like that for several hours.
Mm-hmm.
We sadly won't really know.
No, because he was in the house by himself, so
Yeah, yeah.
you don't really know when it happened. It's just you know that it happened.
It's just kind of one of those things where I'm almost kind of like, as I'm finding myself getting up there in age, it just kind of makes me go, you know what? Especially for your loved ones, and then just yourself alone as you're getting up there in age, man, nothing beats that feeling of, hey, I know that if my family wants to drop in on me remotely, they can do that. Like, I kind of like it when something comes in the mail and it's dropped off on our porch, and I'm grabbing it, and Tams will text me. She'll be like, "What do we get?" you know, or like if I order some takeout food, and she'll text me. She'll be like, damn well you shouldn't be having that. What you get anyway? Save me some. I like that. It's kind of cool. It's creepy as fuck, but it's funny as fuck at the same time. And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, as we're getting up there, damn, maybe we should kind of consider getting Ring
Mm-hmm.
inside the home as well, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of an invasion of privacy a little bit. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of creepy, but it's like, if we all understand the circumstances for like why it's there,
Mm-hmm.
that makes even more sense,
Mm-hmm.
especially if the technology, and this is where I think the future is really going to go with devices like Ring
Mm-hmm.
and the other people that's out there. I think we're going to get to that point where, thanks largely in part to AI technology,
Mm-hmm.
you could be at work and you're going to get that notification that says, especially now that we can tag, because of constant facial recognition, we can now tag and name
Mm-hmm.
those people's faces that keep popping up
Mm-hmm.
in our Ring cameras and all
Mm-hmm.
that. With the help of AI, I definitely feel we're going to get to that point where the technology is going to be like, hey, Lee possibly had a fall,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. And it's like you see that notification, it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. And then you're able to look, see what's going on. Then you can already dial
Mm-hmm.
911
Right.
within those apps. But now, like, oh shit, I just got a notification. He fell. Let me look. Oh, he
Mm-hmm.
did fall. And then you can, trust me, that's a matter of time. I think we're going to hit that in like about under 3 years. If we're here, if we are still by 2026, if by 2029, January 1st of 2029, if that technology still hasn't been developed yet, I'm gonna be scratching my head going, what's going on? Because I look at all the insane shit that we're able to do with AI and our technology right now, and it's like I know what we're capable of.
Oh yeah.
We just got to figure it out and all that. How would you feel about that though? Is that something you would be kind of? Because I know for some people that hear that, like it's kind of good, but just there's
I
that
guess
invasion of privacy. Yeah.
there's a need for it. Yeah. I mean, if you had asked me, my 20-ish year old self with, no aging parents, just me and so on and so forth, probably not. Because then I would consider it an invasion of privacy. I mean, now, well, I would probably be much more apt to do so. So I think it would depend on the person's views of it and where they are in their life.
Agreed.
And of course, parents out there might actually be like, I mean, the kids would be like, Mom!
Yeah.
But, in the world that we live in now, oh no.
See, my biggest issue is I would have to always remember to be walking around with a bathrobe or something, because if I were to have that type of technology indoors, like yeah, I like walking around in just my boxers. So, yeah, of course
Right.
of course I put a shirt on
Sometimes.
or pajamas when I need to, there's a package, or there's some food at the door. Like I'll throw something on and I'll go do that, but like otherwise I'm just walking around the house just, pretty much butterball naked. So it's kind of like one of those deals where, I don't know, as if something like that were to come into the house, I definitely don't want the last moments captured of me butterball naked, and then I just, that's just me personally. Hey, a couple other little items we can get into before we get ready to roll out. Wrestling news wise, I wanted to share this with you and get your reaction to this. So, first of all, WWE, they have done a significant price cut for their elite packages for WrestleMania. Elite packages was up to about $37,500. Ticket sales were slower than expected. So I paid attention to this very closely too. WWE, they took advantage of 316 day, where price cuts were available for 31.6%. So you get
Yeah.
it, you get it, 316.
Yep.
And apparently, when they did that, they moved thousands of tickets after that. So overpriced Mania at first, and then kind of, bringing it back. So good for them. Hopefully, they can continue to, do well. But here's what's really got people talking right now. There is a ride on Cody's Liberty One tour bus. It's going to be some apparently stops at Vegas landmarks. You get behind the scenes Mania access, photo, and a brief one-on-one with Cody Rhodes. I mean, I wonder what that consists of. Thanks for coming. And then he just moves on to the next person. Or
Probably one or two questions.
or hello, and then moves on to the next person. And apparently you get commemorative merch. Basically, this is a luxury meet and greet on wheels.
Or what one would consider VIP experience.
So let's play a game, because I now know, some of the listeners know, but let's put you on the spot, because we know you don't really look this stuff up. How much would you say this costs? I'll give you two cracks.
7,500.
7,500? Higher.
15K.
After taxes, looking at about over $10,000.
That sounds about right.
So, when you hear that, and this is, after taxes, $10,000 per person. Apparently, there's only like about 12 spots. 12 spots that's available for this. So, what is that? Is that 120 something thousand dollars? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jesus. I'm not one to tell somebody what to do with their money, but can I have some of that? I mean, I got a car that needs some fixing. I got some utility bills. I mean, the electricity alone is just. I opened up the electricity bill the other day, and that bitch is like $2,000 almost. I'm like, what the fuck? And we're not the only ones apparently. Like everybody's feeling it with the, but like $10,000 for a glorified meet and greet. How you
I
feel?
like
How you feel about hearing all that?
I like Cody Rhodes. I do. Like legit. But no way. Not even if I had it.
Now, some people would say, okay, well, who is your favorite wrestler of all time? And would you pay that same amount for them if you had it? Because some would maybe say, is it a question of who the wrestler is?
I don't know.
I know you're a big fan of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. If it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson and you had $10,000 laying around, would you do it for the Rock?
Maybe.
You said maybe. That's interesting. The fact that you would even consider, but flat out say no to Cody, that tells me, and the listeners, a couple of things. That tells me, number one, that no matter how many times Cody Rhodes has been a world heavyweight champion so far, you don't quite see him at that. Or I don't want to be misspeaking, but
no. A lot of things in reference has nothing to do with his accolades.
okay.
Nothing to do with his accolades.
Okay.
I think Cody is an awesome dude from what I see behind the scenes and in front of the camera. And I am touched by his work with kids and the way he is and interacts with his fans and even the young ones. That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Not a thing.
So what are we talking?
Personal preference.
Just personal preference.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Just personal preference.
That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Because in going that route, are there wrestlers that I think could command that? Yes. But honestly, in the times that we're in right now, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
You know what? I could even see 4,000. That's still high. It's still high. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But that is okay. You want to get private access. You wanted this. You wanted that. Okay. We got it for you. And that's reasonable. But 10,000 is outrageous.
How much do you remember? How much before he passed? You remember when Stan Lee had came up here and he did Awesome Con, and there was grab breakfast with Stan Lee and chat. It was like bagels, cream cheese, or some shit. Like I don't even remember it being as high as this Cody Rhodes package.
No. Nowhere near it.
I think to your point, that was like four.
It was like four. It was somewhere between 4 to 6.
Yeah.
100.
And that was no.
1,000?
I remember a couple of thousand.
Oh, okay.
But my point, like it was cheaper than what they're doing with Cody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I grant you, yes, it was, a few years ago, but still. What WWE is finding out.
Well, hold on. Hold that thought. I got another one for you. There is another one The eat pasta with a WWE superstar package.
Oh God.
Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Y'all heard me right. The eat pasta with a WWE superstar package. The price $11,500 per person. This is not going to be happening at WrestleMania. This is apparently going to be happening at their Clash in Italy PLE. So same concept basically. As far as what's included, a front row seat, backstage access, wine tasting with WWE talent, ringside photo, and private pasta making session with a WWE star. The way WWE is trying to lean into this, they're basically saying we're not just selling tickets, we're selling experiences. What you're selling is a fucking ripoff. But
Yes.
that's just me.
No, you literally are marketing your talent to exploit your fan base.
So what do you think about this one?
I mean, I think it's a cool experience, but I don't think it's worth the money.
What do you think about this one compared to the Cody? Same demon on the same coin,
Yeah,
or slightly more bang for your buck?
slightly more bang for your buck.
Sounds like it, don't it?
Yeah.
Let's go back one more time, and I want everybody else to hear this again. Cody, you ride on his bus, you ride on his tour bus.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
All right, so the Cody Rhodes package, everybody, you get $9,950. That's per person. Okay, you ride on his bus. It stops at Vegas landmarks. You get behind the scenes Mania access, brief one-on-one with Cody, photo, and then you get commemorative merch. The Chelsea Green, I don't know. Sorry, I'm thinking Chelsea Green for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, I think because that would be interesting. Make pasta with Chelsea Green. That'd be kind of cool. The Focus Lee, the pasta joint, front row seat, backstage access, wine tasting with WWE talent, ringside photo, private pasta making session with a WWE star.
I mean, they both sound like great experiences. And very thought out. But still, I'm sorry, you're literally exploiting your fan base. I mean, yeah, you're giving them something they want, but that's outrageous. People either have it to burn, or they're taking out loans for this crap. Like, seriously. And just
Look.
I mean, it's not for me. I get the concept.
Yeah.
I get the fact that that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But come on. That is ridiculous in reference to that kind of price.
This is what I don't understand, and this just shows you how greedy sons of bitches TKO is right now. Because think about this, y'all. If fans are already complaining about the fact that taking themselves and the whole family to a live WWE event is expensive as fuck these days, then what makes you think they're going to be willing to take out a loan with One Main Financial or whoever, get an advance payday loan or whatever? What makes you think they're going to be willing to go to those steps, those extremes, to take advantage of these little experiences? When the smarter money is just, WrestleMania weekend, Oh, well, I already know there's going to be all these other vendors that's going to be doing something WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be these other wrestling promotions that's going to be in the city. They're going to be doing events as well. You know, I can take that same amount of money if I'm going to blow that kind of money, and I can go hit up all the scenes, and I can get all the photo ops. I can get all this shit I want autographed, and I will have 10 times more of the value, the experience, the memories
Mm-hmm.
than just going to this one thing and then afterwards kind of saying,
I beg to differ on the memories. I mean, yes, you'll have more memories of different things, but if that particular star is like the be all end all for you, like you just the moon rises and sets. The sun rises and sets.
mm,
But then, yes, you're going to hold and cherish that memory very close. But in reference to more bang for your buck and wanting more memories, absolutely. It's absolutely overpriced.
who would you if you could pick, because Lord knows this is probably going to be just some shit at random, before that clash in Italy, if you could make pasta with a WWE star, who if you could pick who you want to make pasta with?
I um
Anybody on the roster, who would you like to make pasta with?
eh. I mean, there's nobody that I can like. Okay, I would. I mean, it literally, guys, in my head, I was like, well, no, well, no, I already met him, so never mind.
Mm.
And so it's one of those. I there's really nobody I would. No, not for that kind of money.
Really?
Nope.
There's two people, actually there's three people that come to mind that if I can have the fact that they are with the WWE, because like it, now let me go back and look at this, because is it with a WWE star that they're saying for the pasta? Let me go back to this. Okay, with a WWE superstar. Okay, so with a WWE wrestler. Ah, that changes things, because originally
Mm-hmm.
the three people I had in mind:
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie McMahon, Paul Heyman,
Yeah, I can see you doing that with Paul Heyman.
and Abyss, Joseph Park.
Mm.
But now we're talking with a superstar. You know, Otis looks like he always looks like he eats real good. I wouldn't mind doing something with Otis.
You would want to pay $11,000 to eat with Otis.
That's a very good point. Now that I said that out loud, that sounds really, really bad. Actually, that sounds really, really bad. Uh I'm just going through the current roster. I'm going through the current roster in my head. Okay, you know what? If I could pick one man, and if that male superstar wasn't available, but the female superstar was, or vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
I'd pick Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then if Randy wasn't available, I would pick. Uh, I've always had a soft spot for her. It's a toss up. Give me either Nia Jax
Yeah.
or Tamina Snuka. I've always had a soft spot for those two.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
those would be the ones. Notice I picked two big girls too.
I know.
Lee got
Well,
love for the big girls.
Well, Nia Jax isn't as big as
Yeah,
she used to
pretty
be.
soon it's gonna be like, where'd you go? I mean, damn. I mean, kudos to her. I'm glad she's taking her health seriously. Like
Hmm.
I've been saying it for years. I know when everybody was making fun of her weight and all that, I had to be like one of only a few podcasters that basically said, look, she can get more longevity in the
Hmm.
ring
Yep.
and she can drastically eliminate accidents if she would just shed a little bit. And I talked about how all that weight, how that's a lot on the upper body, and then you're
Yep.
relying on your legs to do
To
so
carry.
much. Yeah,
Hmm.
to carry and
Hmm.
then do so much
Hmm.
move wise, like.
Hmm.
And so kudos to her for shedding all that off. It looks good on her. It looks good on her. Those would be my two. Now that you've thought about it a little bit more, you maybe want to go that route. One male, one female. Let's go with a female. Surely there's somebody you're like,
Charlotte.
ooh, good pick.
Male. Randy's a good one,
Randy's a damn
but
good one.
um, AJ
Lee or Styles?
Styles.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, he probably knows a thing or two about cooking.
Mm.
At least spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he should know shit. He should know. And then of course, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, what is it? The right knee brace? Right knee brace, right? Yeah. The right knee brace that sold for over $56,000 in a auction. I want to know what happened to the left one. Does Steve Austin
Maybe
have
they
it?
kept it, or it's in a private collector.
Does Kevin Owens have it? Like, I want to know what's going on with the left one. It's very interesting what TKO is doing here. I mean, there's just I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their money, but somebody that's willing to spend over $56,000 for a fucking knee brace. I know there was a Hulk Hogan boot that had sold some weeks ago.
Oh, is it?
That sold, yeah. That I understood. It was like, okay, this is a piece of some, really good memorabilia, a wrestling legend. Like, okay, not that Steve Austin isn't a wrestling legend because he is, but it's like, it'd be one thing if it's like we're talking about a knee brace that Stone Cold Steve Austin has worn time and time and time and time again. This is the
Mhm.
same knee brace that he had when he gave Vince McMahon the stunner back at, this is the same knee brace when he faced The Rock one last time. Like, this is the knee brace he wore when he faced Jake the Snake Roberts, or I could get that. It's like, no, no, this is just the knee brace he wore at WrestleMania 37 against Kevin Owens. It's like
Damn.
it's like
Well, I guess the other one would be overmade.
I'm assuming, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
That-
I,
yeah. Is it safe to say that like the fact that there be money to be had, and we've now seen two examples of auctions where a lot of money was made,
mm-hmm.
and then we see what's happening with these WWE experiences and all that, is like, I mean, we could be disgusted all we want, but if we're like the let's kick back and let's really look at this type of people that we always are, is it safe to say this behavior is going to
Oh,
continue,
yes.
and like TKO is just getting started? Because remember what we talked about last some years back, which
Mm-hmm.
was, yo, WWE, they're seeing all this money that can be had
Mm-hmm.
with uh these fake me out Comic Con things, con events and all that. Yo, just
Mm-hmm.
imagine if they kept that shit more in house.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now we have been seeing that come to fruition and them lean into it more and more. that we're where we're at now. So we definitely were ahead of the curve when we talked about this some years back. But now let's really the overall
So,
picture.
yes, I do think it'll continue.
Okay.
Because irregardless of the fact that we might think the prices are astronomical, somebody will pay it.
Yeah.
And if you have 12 spots and 6 of them are, you know, taken, then it's working. Now, the only way that it will go down in price, maybe not be as many experiences, as if fans push back and say, I'm just not paying it. I'm just not doing it. And when the people start saying, no, this is too much, and they start losing revenue, then yes, that means prices will go down. Just like you had the ticket sales kind of being, like, oh my God. But then they did, okay, you know what? On 3/16 day, we're going to do 31.6% in a sale. Okay, then you see movement.
I want to say this and then we'll dip out. If you are going to continue at these prices, then I have one suggestion for TKO. I said this on the show a while back, but I can't help but stress it again. If you're going to want them to come out of the pocket for those PLEs or just for those regular shows or some of those house shows, then it shouldn't matter what country you're in. What should always happen guaranteed is, hey, we know that these prices might be a little bit high for some of you guys, but to kind of make up for that, what we're doing is, hey, if you want hot dog, chips, popcorn, all that is going to be $1. If you want a hamburger, that's going to be $1. If you want a cheeseburger, that's going to be $2. If you want a slice of pizza, that's going to be $2. We're always going to make sure that our meals are affordable, regardless of the country that we're in. If it's going to be this price in the United States, you can best rest for certain the food price will be the same in Japan. It'll be the same in Australia. It's our way of making sure that, look, we recognize right now there's an inflation that's going on in some parts of the area. We know that there's tariffs. We know that gas prices. We know that there's this. We know that there's that. So this is our way of combating it. And this isn't a temporary thing. Like, this is permanent. This is our way of saying thanks for your continued support. That's the way that you could essentially spin it. I think there's a Phoenix Suns owner talking NBA. I love this dude because that's basically what he's implemented and has implemented for the past couple of years now, and it's been very successful. And there's other NBA team organizations that have implemented his system. They're like, okay, if we're going to ask our fans to pay this, for the
You
tickets,
got to give them value for their money.
right?
And if you're going to go high on one thing, you got to compensate somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, I
think about that.
still think
Think about that. Think about that. You're paying probably shit. I remember a couple of weeks ago I was trying to look up tickets for a WWE event that was supposed to be coming out here to Baltimore.
$200 to $500 a ticket.
And just for nosebleed seats, they wanted like about $300 to $400.
That's great.
And it's like, okay, I pay that. Now, what do I have to show for it? Because I'm in a nosebleed seat section. Now you're asking me to pay. Now you're asking me to pay
another
about
$80, $70, $50 to $80
for food.
For food and drinks.
For food and drinks. And I ain't even bought merch yet.
Correct.
I ain't even dropped merch yet.
And then that's depending on how much you want to get, that's anywhere from $50 to $300.
Now, just imagine if we just kind of scale back on them food prices. Alcohol should remain the same. Fuck that. Sorry y'all. I mean, I love my booze as much as the next person, but no,
It's not a requirement.
it's not a requirement. No. And I would even take it a step further. I may alienate some folks with this, but I would even take it a step further. Kids eat free if they are under like age 10. The way I would do it, kids eat free. Veterans,
50% discount.
either a 50% discount or maybe they'd eat free too. My way of saying thank you for your service.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing with that is you, besides outpricing your fans, you also need to figure out a way to bring that back. And that kids eat free, or it's greatly discounted, or it's, okay, you know what, you're in this tier of ticket. Your food is paid for completely. You're in this tier of ticket, you get 50% off. Or something like that. Some kind of voucher that is encompassed with the ticket. Get
Correct.
something along with the ticket.
Correct.
So, I mean, let me just say these are not the prices I grew up with.
Hell no.
I remember thinking when $75 a ticket was like, wait a minute, what? Then it went to $100 a ticket, and I was like, oh, that's just crazy.
But still manageable.
But still manageable. Okay, you know what? You got me, but I like the artist, so okay. Now, real quick, the little, girl in me was like, well, my dad's boss has tickets to the Capitol Center. I go for free. But
God.
don't get me wrong, I saw a mini show there, and that was awesome. But when I started having to pay for my own shows, it was like, oh, and then just a succession. Like, I kid you not, there was a. Oh, yes, it was. Tony Braxton, Boyz II Men, and somebody else. In Vogue?
No.
They just came through. Tony Braxton, Boyz II Men, and somebody else. New Edition.
Yes.
Anyway, that was a concert. I was like, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, you gave me the third degree. Yeah, I remember saying to her, I said, that sounds really, really good, hun, but you got to remember, them prices are probably going to be shit fucking stupid. And then she started huffing and puffing. And then I said to her, look, if you can find tickets at a really good price, I'll go with you. I love all those acts. And she kind of calmed down a little bit because she kind of thought maybe she was hearing I wasn't interested, but because I had said, the tickets are going to be really expensive, but like I already knew what time it was. And so I said to her, hey, if you could find some really good prices, and it's manageable, like I'm down. And you came up with.
The prices were really fucking high.
So,
I mean, good God.
I can only imagine where the prices are going to be at now because the last time I know we did Boney James. That was pretty affordable. That was pretty decent.
It's also not to say that this is not a knock on Boney James at all. Especially for the people who love that type of music.
Yeah.
And we do.
Yeah.
But it's
We're
not
talking jazz.
But it's not to the level of okay, I'm going to see the equivalent of Michael Jackson or
Right.
the equivalent of I don't know, Busta Rhymes back in the day.
Right. Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga now.
Yeah.
It's gotten to that point where it's like, whoa, you know,
No, I
and
get you. I get you. I get you. I was supposed to go to a Jerry Cantrell concert a couple of years ago. I ended up not going because I wasn't trying to deal with the frigid temperatures
and the weight.
and the wait. And I dropped, I think, I thought it was a case where at that time I thought I was getting guaranteed seats. I think it was. And then when I took a second glance at my ticket, it was just
General admission.
general admission. So it was like the earlier you get there, the better. And it was like,
Hmm.
oh, fuck. And then it was like, do I get a hotel just so I can guarantee myself a front row view of Jerry Cantrell? And then what sealed the deal for me was when I went online to get an idea of, well, what is his set gonna be that he's
Hmm.
playing? And I wasn't really feeling him as a solo act live. I want to stress that as a solo act live, because he really was not interacting with the crowd at all. And I'm very big on when I drop that money, I want you to be interacting. I
Hmm.
don't want you to just set. You know, oh, great crowd, set. Like I want you to be interacting with me and
Hmm.
shit, right? And then the guy that he had that was singing some of the classic AIC songs from Langs to Lee, he just sucked, and it was like if I gotta hear this dude, like no, I'm good. But I just remember even back then, I was like, after taxes and all that was done, it wasn't $100 actually. I paid like a little bit over after taxes. I paid like a little bit over 160, and that was just for general admission. And I was like, and then I can remember years before that when I saw Robert Plant,
Hmm.
I dropped like I dropped like $70 and I had a pretty damn good seat from where
Hmm.
I was sitting. I
Hmm.
wasn't front view. I was definitely to the side, but I had a really good view and great experience on that. So to your whole point, yeah, the ticket prices, it's just, but that's the way you got to combat it, is you, like you said earlier, you said it very well. You said you got to compensate somehow,
Hmm.
like, yeah, you might be paying, you're doing this, but you're getting a bigger bang for your buck because, and look at the way I'm putting it out there. My way, you guarantee that that fan is likely going to be putting more money towards merch.
Hmm. That plus they're also more apt to buy into that
Right.
because they feel like they're getting something more. They're getting more value for their money.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But like
Hmm.
the trend of them just continuing to be greedy little bastards, TKO, it seems like it's gonna continue to go until the break of dawn. Before we get ready to dip out, want to say rest in peace to Animaniacs creator Barry Caldwell, passed away at the age of 68. Rest in power to that brother. 68. That is just way too young to be passing away there. Um, as far as how he passed, I'm not seeing any information right now. That is pretty young. I will say that. I don't like
Hmm.
speculating. I don't like
That is pretty
speculating.
young.
Yeah, I don't like speculating, but I mean, 68, black. I just hope it ain't cancer.
Hmm.
But normally, cancer, it runs pretty also. Rest in peace to Sam Kieth, a famous comic book artist. He was responsible for giving us the Maxx from Image Comics, which was so popular back in the day. It would go on to have a very short animated series run on the MTV network. A very unique style of he had as an artist. It was almost kind of like, what would you get if you took Tim Burton, Van Gogh, and LSD and put it all together for artwork? What would you get? And very abstract. He was very, very loose in the way he would visually push stuff together. It was kick ass though. I remember one of the first times I came across his artwork. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "This is some weird shit." And then as I was flipping through the pages, like I was drawn to it because I never saw anything quite like it. And I remember being a teenager during this period, and I just was like, "Yo, this is cool. Like this guy's really, really cool." Lewy body dementia. He passed away from that. So rest in power to his family, friends, loved ones there. Um, that's sad what happened there. Before we get ready to dip out, want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. Shout out to the good folks over at dnpdaniels.com, where healthcare isn't just clinical, it's human. RX for Humanity is a powerful digital guide for nurses, students, and healthcare professionals ready to confront bias and practice with deeper compassion and accountability, featuring real ER stories, practical strategies, and tools you can apply right at the bedside. Download your copy today at dnpdaniels.com. You can also follow the author of that. Her name is Brittany. She's on all socials. Find her by using the keywords Black Queer Nurse. We're also brought to you in part by Questions for Cancer Doctors via q4cd.com. If you've recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer or know someone that's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, hey, before making treatment decisions, get clarity from someone who has been there. At Questions for Cancer Doctors, q4cd.com, Dr. Williams, who's a retired lieutenant colonel and radiation oncologist, helps men and veterans understand their options, and ask the right questions before moving forward. You can download a PDF book that contains very useful information. Hopefully, that'll make you want to schedule a private one-on-one consultation. When you're ready for that consultation, you'll be able to do so at q4cd.com. q4cd.com, because the right questions lead to the right decisions. Shout out to our longtime supporters. Big thanks to our Patreon backers. Shout out to everyone that's been checking out the content on the YouTube channel and on TikTok as well. You see, I've continued to have fun with the foodie reviews. The hardest part with these foodie reviews is maintaining my weight and continuing to go down, especially with just like the amount of crazy new stuff that I've been trying as of late. Tam's actually just brought in some new Ruffles. Was it Ruffles or Doritos?
Combination.
Is it a combination?
It's basically Doritos, but it's sour cream and onion.
That is.
I'm sorry, sour cream and cheddar.
That's gonna be awesome. I can't. This the sound of that. I can't wait to dig into that. Seriously. So we still putting up the foodie reviews and all that good stuff. Your next edition. We're doing an episode of the RCWR show. That'll come at you guys this Monday, March 30th, 2026. Soon as Raw on Netflix is off the air. Meantime, be kind. Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. She's the beautiful and the lovely Tammy Lee Sanders. We're wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. We'll see you next go around. Take care.
Ta-ta.